Mining Business and Investment East Africa Conference is taking place this week in Nairobi. Tshepo Kgadima, CEO of LontohCoal, now joins us from our studios in Nairobi to discuss mining opportunities in the East African region. Thanks very much for your time this morning, Tshepo. Let's just kick off with the state of mining in East Africa. Very underdeveloped at this point in time, but there's been a lot of new data in terms of mineral deposits. What type of opportunities do you see for miners in the region and the key mineral deposits that have been uncovered at this point?
Well, thank you and good morning. It's good to be talking to you from Nairobi. As you say, we are here for the mining investment business to look at the opportunities in this part of the world of East Africa, particularly Kenya. And for us as a company, we see the opportunity in the areas of coal as well as gold. Because the Greenstone Belt is deposits are available in Kenya, although underdeveloped, but now is the opportunity where we see that there will be tremendous growth coming from the gold sector and coal for energy source in this region, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and as well as opportunity of exports.
Of course, there's been a lot of regulation also to help attract investors into the sector. At this point in the mining industry, where do you see the biggest gaps that you need to be addressed in order to quantify and then minimize the risks of throwing money at exploration and development?
I think that the biggest challenge that needs to be addressed by African governments, and Kenya is at a point whereby it is revising its mining regulations. And the biggest challenge is ensuring that there is coordination, not only from the mining, but from the trade and investment side, from the infrastructure, to ensure that once you have a license to mine, you are able to move the production into the marketplace. And as Kenya is now at the point where it is revising its Mining Act, the appeal that we are making to the government and in our interaction here with them is to ensure that the mining code here can be all-encompassing and taking into account all the factors, not just limited to mining, but environment, infrastructure impediments, to ensure that you have an industry that can truly unlock the natural resources of Kenya.
Because as you say, mining only accounts for 1% of GDP in Kenya at this point in time. As a coal company, you have assets in Zimbabwe and South Africa. What you say, there's opportunity in gold, there's opportunity in coal. What is your interest at this point in time? Are you looking at developing there, exploring further? Just give us an idea of what LontohCoal plans to do in the region.
Yeah, here in Kenya specifically, we are looking at coal as well as gold. And we are still in the early stages of exploration, so we've been assessing a number of opportunities which will in turn form part of our larger portfolio of producing assets, coal assets in South Africa and the developing assets in Zimbabwe, whereby all these assets will form part of the company as it lists during the first half of 2012 on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange.
You will be, of course, the first African mining company to list in Hong Kong. There's been a big drive by Hong Kong to get African companies to list. Why the delay, though? You were meant to list this year.
Yes, the initial plan was to list before the end of the year. However, negotiations for a cornerstone investor in the company have taken longer than what we had expected or planned. And we are at the critical stages of closing in on a cornerstone investor, which will invariably be a Chinese state-owned enterprise.
Subsequent to that?
And on conclusion of the strategic investor, cornerstone investor, who will have between 10 and 15% equity in the company, that will open up the way for us to formally launch the IPO process in Hong Kong.
And subsequent to that, you plan to list on the JSE as well, is that correct?
Indeed. Well, that's natural because today on our books we have 223 shareholders. 202 of those 223 shareholders are South Africans. So it therefore makes sense for us to have a secondary listing in Johannesburg.